Breaking now at noon, a shooting at a Winter Springs apartment complex ends with 2 people dead, while police are not searching for any suspects.
Plus 3 people are in the hospital after flames tore through their home while they were sleeping. The family member that ultimately helped save their lives.
And get ready for a smoother ride on I-75, the significant expansion project that's on the horizon in Marion County that will eventually mean more lanes for drivers.
WESH 2 News starts with breaking news.
And that breaking news is out of Seminole County this afternoon, where 2 people died after a shooting at an apartment complex. Winter Springs police say it looks like a domestic situation.
WESH 2's Michelle Meredith is live at that apartment complex this afternoon. Michelle.
Well, this happened at the Mosswood apartment complex. It's a very small complex off Moss Road, and it's very near 434. Now, police tell us they're starting this early investigation, so we don't have a lot of details, but here's what we know so far. Now, this happened about 6 o'clock last night. Police say they got a 911 call from someone in the complex saying they heard gunshots, and when they got here, they found a man and a woman. Both had been shot. Both eventually died. Now, police say this appears to be a case of domestic violence. They're not looking for any suspects, and it's not clear if they were living here or not. They also tell us they're holding off on names because they're still trying to reach out to their families. Live in Seminole County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
We're also following some breaking news out of Apopka. That is where police say a child was struck by a car this morning and the driver took off from the scene. This happened in the area of Park Avenue and Tangle Wild Street. That child was hit and is expected to be okay, though. We're working to get more information about the age of the child and what type of car was involved here. A man arrested in connection to the abuse of a 10-year-old boy that police say was tortured will remain in jail for now. 36-year-old Andre Walker appeared before a judge this morning. He's charged with accessory after the fact for aggravated child abuse. Walker was ordered to be held on no bond though his attorney argued that he'd argue that decision. Right now, doctors are working to save the boy, who they say was badly beaten and burned. Tavares police say his mother, Kimberly Mills, and Walker brought him to the hospital Saturday with severe injuries and then left him there. Mills eventually returned and was arrested. She's also being held without bond.
All right, now to a story that we first told you about this morning on WESH 2 News Sunrise. You can see these huge flames. They tore through a family's house. 3 people had to go to the hospital, and they don't have a place to stay after the fire started in their home. Their house is off of Maitland Boulevard and Eden Park Road on Contour Drive. WESH 2's Paola Tristan Arudo was there as crews worked to put out the hotspots. And right now, investigators are still working to figure out what caused the fire. The people who went to the hospital, though, are expected to be okay. All right, we do want to get a check of the forecast right now because we're finally starting to dry out.
That's right. Let's get straight to meteorologist Cam Tran to see what's happening next.
That's right. We'll finally get some more sunshine later on this afternoon, but we're still seeing a couple rain showers right now because of this area low pressure just off to the east. You can see that counterclockwise spin there, and because that low is still pretty close to the state, we're still dealing with rain showers this afternoon. Here's a look at our first warning radar. We're seeing that light rain near De Leon Springs, Astor, DeLand, Deltona as well. And some of those showers continue to push from south to north into Seminole and Orange County. So right now we're seeing just some very light rain over in Sanford, Longwood, Apopka. We're also seeing that rain over in Ocoee this afternoon. Up to the north, we do have a few coastal rain showers there in Flagler County near Marineland and Palm Coast. So as we take a look at your 12-hour forecast, by the time we get to around 3 o'clock, that's when we'll finally get some breaks from the cloud and get a little bit of sunshine. High temperatures today climbing only into the low 70s, and then tonight we continue to see those clouds move on out, and we're actually looking at a refreshing night ahead. I'll show you the cool down that we're expecting later on this work week. That's coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, Cam, well, new at noon, a busy part of I-75 will soon be getting bigger. The governor came to Ocala today to announce the start of this project. WESH 2's Bob Hazen reports it will eventually mean more lanes for drivers. All right, there is another push to bring more space to the Space Coast. This time, Senator Ashley Moody is making the pitch. Moody posted online this morning saying NASA should move its headquarters to Central Florida. She says it would save taxpayers money and encourage collaboration with private space companies. And she's got the support of Governor DeSantis, who replied to her post saying, quote, "This is a no-brainer for DOGE. Right now, the feds are planning on building a new expensive headquarters in D.C. for NASA, even though very few NASA employees have showed up to the current D.C. office over the past 4 years." A woman who works at a nursing home was arrested after Ocoee police say she stole money from an elderly patient she was caring for. 25-year-old Aaliyah Carr is expected to appear before a judge this afternoon. Police say she worked at Madison at Ocoee along Clark Road. They say back in August, Carr stole a patient's credit card and then spent hundreds of dollars at Publix and Walmart. She was arrested yesterday during a traffic stop and booked into the Orange County Jail.
An Orange County Corrections Office employee is set to face a judge today after getting arrested for a battery. 39-year-old Joshua Sutton is facing a battery and battery by strangulation charge. The victim told investigators that Sutton choked her while hitting her on the front and back of her head. The arrest affidavit showed that her kids were also in the home where this happened. Police say Sutton told them that the victim and a second victim needed to die in a fiery car accident. Report states that Sutton then walked toward the second victim and punched that person in the chest. That victim heard Sutton unlocking the safe where he keeps his gun, so she took that opportunity to get out of the home with the kids. Sutton is in jail this afternoon without bond. Well, 2 more local cities have voted to remove fluoride from their drinking water. Just last night, New Smyrna Beach Utilities Commissioners voted unanimously to remove it from the city water systems. They say the fluoride feed equipment needs to be replaced, and that can be costly. Those business considerations are ultimately what led to that unanimous vote. City of Leesburg also voted to stop adding fluoride to their drinking water last night. In December, the city voted to start putting fluoride in the water, but now with a state bill that would ban fluoride across Florida, state managers said it would be best to stop these plans.
This afternoon, Pope Francis is still in critical condition at the hospital in Rome, where he is fighting double pneumonia. According to the Vatican, the Pope rested well all night. A Vatican source says Pope Francis is not bedridden and can stand up. The 88-year-old pontiff met with his first visitors, aside from his secretaries, on Monday, to senior Vatican officials. A prayer service for Pope Francis will happen at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City tonight. An American teenager is being investigated for murdering a newborn baby in France. This is an awful case. The 18-year-old is accused of throwing her newborn out of a Paris hotel second-floor window. The baby did not survive. The young mother is in police custody. Prosecutors and French media have not named her. Prosecutors said she was part of a group of young adults traveling in Europe. The U.S. Embassy in France said it was aware and was closely monitoring the case. All right, the work to restore the Volusia County coastline gets started today.
Yeah, how the community can weigh in on where $8 million is spent. Plus, a lifeguard shortage could impact beach safety this summer. What Volusia County is doing, though, to tackle this issue and keep everyone protected and safe.
But first, soaring egg prices are hitting just about everyone. The very latest business that is now passing on that cost to customers.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
You're watching WESH 2.
It's something we've been talking about for weeks, those sky-high egg prices, and as costs keep climbing, another major restaurant chain has announced an egg-based surcharge.
As NBC's Aaron McLaughlin explains, shoppers are still struggling to find eggs at stores at a reasonable price. All right, with summer around the corner, Volusia County is getting ready for staffing shortages and lifeguards. Beach Safety told us that they have 135 seasonal positions that they've got to fill. Now, to fill all of these gaps, they have increased the pay again to $18.50 an hour. They're also offering some bonuses. Even though they've got these staffing shortages, Beach Safety saved more than 2,000 people in 2024, and they had 9 drownings, which is a decrease from the year before. And so far this year, they've had 48 rescues and no drownings.
Well, Unfortunately, most of our drownings and all of our drownings last year happened in unguarded areas. That's why it's so important for people to come to the beach, make sure they're swimming in front of those staff lifeguard towers.
All right, there are 3 lifeguard tryout dates scheduled for next month, and we've got all the information on WESH.com right now.
All right, today in Volusia County, the first of 3 community meetings is being held to discuss restoring our coastline. The county recently approved nearly $8 million to rebuild our sand dunes. Equipment will make its way onto beaches in March, and work will start in April. Work will take a few months to complete. Once the dunes are built, the focus will be on adding plants. SpaceX will try again tonight to launch a batch of Starlink internet satellites into orbit. Last night's attempt was called off because of bad weather. Liftoff tonight is set for 10:47 from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
All right, and how are things looking as we head into the evening hours ahead of that launch?
Looking a lot better than last night for sure. We had all those thick clouds, the rain shower. The rain wasn't really the factor. It was more like the thick clouds. But tonight we're not expecting as much cloud cover. So from a weather standpoint, a 95% chance that it will be a go this evening. Again, that launch window opens up at 10:47. We're still dealing with a lot of cloud cover this afternoon, though. Here is a look at our satellite and radar. That area low pressure that really rolled through Florida yesterday is now off to the east, but on the back side of it, we're still dealing with quite a bit of cloud cover this afternoon. Here's a look. You can see all the clouds, especially areas east along I-95, I-4, and even I-75. But we're starting to see a little bit of clearing in folks in Ocala and Marion County as that drier air starts to nudge its way in from north to south. So eventually we will see the cloud cover moving on out later this afternoon into the evening. Right now, though, still dealing with a few coastal rain showers this afternoon in Flagler County. Marineland, Palm Coast, Flagler Beach all getting in some light rain at the moment. Also getting in some light shower activity over in Astor, Deland, Deltona, New Smyrna Beach, Daytona Beach, Oak Hill, and some of those showers are coming in into also Seminole and Orange County from north to south. Right now we're seeing some light rain in Sanford, also in Longwood, Apopka, a few sprinkles in Ocoee, and a couple of showers are actually starting to make their way into downtown Orlando. Not much though, and definitely not as widespread as what we saw yesterday. As we take a look at Futurecast, you can see by about 4 or 5 o'clock we see those clouds clearing on out, and finally mostly clear skies as we go into tonight and into the overnight hours, and definitely more sunshine by late this afternoon. So can't roll an isolated sprinkle through about 3 o'clock, and after that, that's when we start to see a little bit more sunshine moving through. After sunset tonight, we are looking at a crisp and cool start to the morning. Overnight lows falling down into the low 50s. 54 tomorrow morning in Orlando, 53 in Leesburg, 50 in DeLand. We'll start off right around 53 in Daytona Beach, and then highs tomorrow, look at this, climb into the upper 70s because we will see more sunshine in our forecast for tomorrow. Go out and enjoy the beautiful weather because we are going to see a bit of a cool down as we go into late week. High pressure moves in on Wednesday. That's going to keep us dry and sunny and comfortable. Then we have a cold front that's going to be moving in on Thursday. That could bring a couple rain showers, not expecting anything widespread. But what it will do is bring in some slightly cooler air for late week into the upcoming weekend. Both weekend days right now looking great. We are looking at mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. So take your pick, both of them looking great. But notice that cool down for Friday. We only see highs in the middle 70s with overnight lows in the 50s or even low 50s. Saturday morning, the coolest at around 53 degrees. Back to you guys.
Detecting killer asteroids that are on a collision course with Earth. The new mission NASA is preparing to launch.
And brace yourself for more sticker shock at the dealership. The new tariffs that will drive up car prices and the parts to fix them make them go up even higher. All right, new car prices right now are at record highs, and there's some concerns that the Trump administration's proposed tariffs could cause those prices to go up even higher.
Jen Sullivan explains how it could impact the entire auto industry.
Well, Home Depot broke their long losing streak. Yesterday, the company said sales at stores that have been open for at least a year grew by 0.8% last quarter. That ends 8 quarters in a row of declining sales. Now, the company also gave an upbeat forecast for 2025 and said sales would grow by 1%. Home Depot is the country's largest home improvement store, and they are considered a bellwether of the housing market and our economy. Well, after 80 years in business, Joann Fabrics is shutting down all of their stores. The chain filed for bankruptcy twice over the last year with plans to keep some of those locations open, but now they plan to close all of their nearly 80 stores. Each store will have a going out of business sale. Gift cards will only be valid through Friday.
Some national parks are cutting back on services following a purge of probationary employees. Several have canceled tours altogether, while others are cutting back on hours. Yosemite National Park has halted the sale of summer permits for some campgrounds indefinitely. This comes after about 1,000 national park employees were abruptly fired last week as part of the Trump administration's efforts to curb federal spending.
Starlink just landed a major contract with the U.S. government. Why there are some concerns about potential conflicts of interest surrounding their CEO, Elon Musk.
And Israel delays the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, raising questions about the potential effects on the third phase of its ceasefire agreement.
Closed captioning is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
What's happening now and what's next? This is the news that matters to you, and it's right here at 5. Michelle Imperato, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 5. Local, live, late breaking.
From the big picture on your national weather to what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Today and WESH 2 News Sunrise, warning you first to changing weather.
So you're always prepared for whatever comes your way.
Every morning, right here on WESH 2.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
The rain is starting to finally move out of Central Florida this afternoon.
Yeah, and temperatures are settling up into the upper 60s right now. Let's get right to First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran to help us plan for the rest of the afternoon. You said it's going to be nice.
Yes, eventually it's going to be nice. We're starting to get some improvement as we watch and take a look at the satellite and radar. Look pretty close. You can see that counterclockwise spin just offshore. That's that area low pressure that's still bringing us a couple rain showers this afternoon and a lot of clouds. But notice we're starting to see some clearing up north in Marion County, especially in Ocala. You're actually getting in some sunshine at this moment. But where we're dealing with some rain is right now across Volusia County, because on the back side of that low, we're still dealing with a couple showers, and that includes out towards Daytona Beach, DeLand, Deltona. We're also getting in some showers in northern Lake County near Astor and Paisley. Those showers are moving from north to south, and so some of that rain is now making its way into Seminole County, including Sanford, Longwood, also into Orange County near Apopka, Ocoee, Orlando, Maitland, getting a couple of light showers out this afternoon. And we're also seeing a couple showers along the coast there in Marineland and in Palm Coast up in Flagler County. Temperatures right now holding steady in the 60s because of the clouds and the rain, but as we go throughout the afternoon, we'll barely nudge it into the low 70s once we get some more peaks of sunshine later on this afternoon around 3 to 4 o'clock. This evening, though, looking quite pleasant, and then we're looking at a clear and cool night ahead. I'll show you when our next cold front is expected to roll through Central Florida. That's coming up at 12:47.
Israel delayed delivering hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in exchange for Israeli hostages.
As NBC's Matt Bradley reports, 63 more hostages, less than half of whom are believed to be alive, remain in Gaza and are due to be released under the three-phase ceasefire deal.
Taiwan's Coast Guard has detained a cargo ship and its Chinese crew. Now, they are reportedly investigating if that vessel deliberately cut an undersea internet cable. The latest possible breach of the island's communications lines. Officials think that that vessel damaged the cables connecting Taiwan to its outlying islands. Two high-profile incidents in the Baltic Sea involved Chinese ships, and those are still being investigated. Here at home in Central Florida, a man died after Orange County deputies say they were forced to shoot him. Investigators say he called 911 Friday because he was having a mental breakdown. When deputies got there, they say 33-year-old Antonio Scipio came out with a knife and refused to drop it. There are now some questions about why mental health counselors didn't also respond to the neighborhood. In a statement, WESH 2, the sheriff's office said deputy clinician teams do not respond directly to calls where the subjects are armed. Right now, FDLE is investigating.
All right, the city of Orlando is one step closer to being able to build a permanent memorial for the Pulse nightclub victims. The Pulse Memorial Advisory Committee presented its conceptual design at a city council workshop. The city will begin a 90-day period to request proposals from building firms in March. The goal here is for the Pulse Memorial to open in summer or fall of 2027.
Next year, Florida voters may be able to pass something that lawmakers have not been able to do, and that is possibly lowering insurance rates. Since Hurricane Irma in 2017, Florida homeowners have been on an insurance roller coaster with high insurance premiums and companies dropping policies. And it's not just homeowners insurance that people are complaining about. Our car insurance rates have also been going up. A new amendment would let voters decide how to lower rates for every type of insurance.
So it's time that we as citizens take this into our own hands and put forward a measure that will actually start to reduce insurance rates for Floridians in every corner of our state.
Right now, the group that proposed the amendment must collect nearly 1 million petition signatures to get this measure on next year's ballot. It will require 60% of voters to say yes for this to pass.
All right, Democratic State Representative Anna Escamani officially kicked off her 2027 campaign for Orlando mayor. Last night's launch was at the Beecham, one of Orlando's most historic venues. Escamani is the first to file to run in that race and says she has a progressive agenda to lead a growing and culturally diverse community. Current Mayor Buddy Dyer has previously announced that this is his last term in office. A heads up to those going to Disney World, be prepared to wait. Starting today, virtual queue no longer offered at 2 of the park's most popular rides.
Plus, the Knights men's basketball team running into some challenges this season. Why, despite these struggles, the Knights head coach is still optimistic about the team's future.
Captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
A warm welcome awaits in St. Pete, Clearwater, where the sun is shining and the weather feels just right. Plan your getaway at visitspc.com.
I'm Greg Fox. On the next WESH 2 Investigates. A local couple just wanted a new air conditioning system. They got that. Then they got charged thousands of dollars for something they didn't want and they didn't get.
What is going on here? This is crazy.
They were desperate, so they called us. We got to work. WESH 2 Investigates uncovered the proof that got them their money back. It's a hard lesson for them, but a great lesson for you. Tonight at 11.
All right, the UCF basketball team is feeling better today after ending their 7-game losing streak on Sunday.
Yeah, it was the longest losing streak they've had under head coach Johnny Dawkins, but he isn't panicking. He feels like there's still a lot out there for this team to accomplish despite this tough slide.
All right, we are seeing some new images from Firefly's Blue Ghost lunar lander when this spacecraft is expected to land on the moon.
Plus, a Florida singer fails to impress the coaches on The Voice, but it's not the end of his journey. The turn of events that's sending him to the next round.
Download the free WESH 2 News app today. Every day at 4, WESH 2 News is in your community, covering the stories for Central Florida. Nancy Alvarez, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. WESH 2 News at 4. Local, live, late breaking. A new year means a new hurricane season is approaching.
And WESH 2 First Warning Weather is giving you our earliest prediction yet. From where and when storms could hit to how many we can expect. Get my exclusive hurricane season forecast Friday.
All right, we're following some breaking news out of Sumter County right now. The sheriff's office is looking for what they call a suspicious person. So this person is wearing a ski mask with a long sleeve black shirt and army pants. Take a look at this photo here. The police say they're also carrying some type of large object. This is near West Street in Bushnell. As a precaution, schools in the area have been placed on a shelter-in-place status right now as deputies try to find this person. Be sure to stay with WESH 2 for any updates on this breaking story.
All right, the Orlando Museum of Art has officially dismissed their lawsuit against the last defendant in the case over those forged Basquiat paintings. That lawsuit claimed former OMA executive director and CEO Aaron DeGroff abused his power and left the museum's reputation and finances in tatters after championing that fake exhibit. DeGroff died last month. Well, the museum released a statement and they said that the parties did not think it prudent or cost effective to continue with this litigation.
Two popular attractions at Disney World are moving to standby lines today. The virtual queue option will no longer be available for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Magic Kingdom or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. I love that ride. This means you can get in line at any time or use a Lightning Lane pass to skip the crowd. This officially means none of the rides at Disney will have virtual queues anymore. Disney says they may use them again from time to time in the future. Now be prepared for long wait times for those rides today, since everyone will now be able to hop in line and wait. And hopefully not too much waiting in the rain, Cam, because it's starting to kind of clear up a little bit.
That's right. We're still seeing a couple of showers, but the rain showers should be gradually clearing out late this afternoon into the evening. Some areas are already starting to see a tad of sunshine. Let me show you our tower camera network. You can see Ocala. Look at that. You're getting in some sunshine where it's But look at the contrast in Orlando. We are still seeing with a lot of clouds out. New Smyrna Beach also softened with the cloud cover. And look at that, the KSC Space Can. We are looking at right now rain showers in that area. So the clearing is all dependent on where you are. We're starting to see that drier air working its way from north to south. So that's why folks in Marion County, you're actually getting in some sunshine this afternoon. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. You can clearly see that counterclockwise spin here just offshore. That's that area low pressure that moved through and brought us really all that dreary wet weather yesterday. Now it's moving away. However, on the backside of it, though, we're still dealing with a lot of cloud cover and still a couple rain showers. But we will eventually see the clearing from north to south as we go throughout the afternoon. All right, now, though, just a couple showers along the coast there in Flagler County near Palm Coast and Flagler Beach. Some very light sprinkles right now near DeLand and Deltona, New Smyrna Beach. And those showers are coming in from the north heading south. So that's why a couple of those showers are now pushing to Sanford, Longwood. Some light rain right now setting up in Apopka as well as in downtown Orlando. As I mentioned earlier, we'll start to see those clouds really breaking up and clearing in from north to south. So by about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, I do think we'll finally get some peaks of sunshine. Then as we go into the evening, mostly clear skies, and that will allow those temperatures to drop fairly quickly in the overnight hours. So by 3 o'clock, we'll start to see those clouds decreasing already. 5 o'clock, pretty nice evening will finally dry out. Tonight, 7 o'clock, mostly clear skies, and that will allow those temperatures to plummet mostly down into the low 50s for inland areas. 50 in the Villages tomorrow morning, 50 in Ocala, 54 in Sanford along the coast will be in the middle 50s. But highs tomorrow, look at that, noticeably warmer. We'll see high temperatures top out in the middle to upper 70s, and that's all thanks to more sunshine in the forecast for your middle of the work week on Wednesday. Looking at for Wednesday, high pressure builds in. That's what's bringing us drier conditions and very comfortable weather for midweek. And Thursday, though, we're watching our next cold front that will arrive. This is not a super strong one, but it will bring a couple of rain showers for Thursday. Behind this front, we're not going to see a significant cool off, but it will be a tad cooler for late week. So as we take a look at your bike week forecast, that's why we're only looking at high of upper 60s for Friday in Daytona Beach. Saturday and Sunday right now looking at both very pleasant with highs in the mid 70s and dry both of those days, Saturday and Sunday in Daytona Beach. So if you head out to bike week, the weekend forecast is looking great. Here's a look at a Central Florida's certified most accurate forecast. Look at that. Thursday will climb into the low 80s before that front arrives, and then by the weekend we are talking about very comfortable temperatures, so hopefully you have some outdoor plans. More news for you coming up on the other side of the break.
Custom weather alerts on the WESH 2 app. Download it today.
All right, a new dark comedy about an Army veteran and his unusual title had a serious mission.
David Daniel spoke with the film's writer, director, and stars about My Dead Friend Zoe. Today on WESH 2 News at 4, answering a higher calling.
My wife said, you know, babe, I think we're supposed to be doing something with family and groceries. I think that's something God's called us to that we should be doing.
Faith answering the prayers of millions by keeping them fed. How one man was motivated by his own struggle to change lives around the world. That story today at 4.
Thank you for watching WESH 2 News. Stay connected to local, live, late-breaking coverage anytime, anywhere on WESH.com or on the WESH 2 app.